The affiliates within OnPassive, we all know this today. We woke up to it today, and obviously it is the buzz within OnPassive. We got another 10-day extension, right? And obviously the majority of the people in OnPassive, they're going, well, okay, what does it mean? What does another 10-day extension mean in the life of OnPassive and the journey of OnPassive? And I'm going to get to that very, very quickly, but I want to start someplace else. And if you understand this and you get there, what's happening today is just okay. It's fine with me. And what I want to talk about is losing your sense of time. And when I say that, most people go, well, okay, I'm not quite sure what that even means. How do you lose your sense of time? And I want to give you a couple of good examples, and all this will relate to OnPassive. How do you lose your sense of time? And the first example I want to use is myself. The first time I fell in love with a woman, I lost that sense of time. I really did. All I thought about was her. When I was with her, I didn't want to leave. When I was away from her, I wanted to be with her. And time really was irrelevant. And it was a really, really neat place to be because my mind was focused on where I wanted to be. And she was the center of everything that I thought about. Now, you can transfer that to life also. And it doesn't matter what you call it, whether it's your passion, whether it's your job, whatever it is, losing that sense of time. When you lose that sense of time, you know you're exactly where you want to be. And again, I'll use myself as an example. Midway into my career, I was in a place, and it was just a perfect place. When I woke up in the morning, I wanted to be where I was at. When I laid down in the morning, I couldn't wait for the morning to come. Everything that I did in that time frame was just absolutely perfect. I was my own boss. The creativity was there. I did what I wanted to do. I got up. I went to bed when I wanted to do. There was no one there to tell me how to do it, when to do it, what to do. It was just a really, really good place. And when I think back of that, I made about $100 a week. Okay, this was about a 6-month period, but it was absolutely perfect because I was doing exactly what I wanted to do. And when you can find that place where everything it just is right, it's a place where time, it really is irrelevant. You don't think about the time. You don't think about anything but what you're doing and the difference you're making. It really is a great place to be. And as you think about OnPassive, and I'm not there completely yet, but the majority of the time that I'm in OnPassive, time is just gone. I lose that sense of time because of what Mr. Mufaro has brought forward, because of the structure of OnPassive, because of what's happening in OnPassive. And when you get there, it's a really, really good place to be. And the way I describe it, it is being in the battle. It's being in the adventure. It's being in the journey. And none of us were made to be average and ordinary, to just get by day, and the days just become rote. They become the same day after day after day. That's not what we're made for. We're made to be in the battle. We're made to be in the journey. We're made to be in the adventure. And when you start to think about OnPassive and you can get to that place, all of a sudden you lose that sense of time. And when that happens, you're in a good place. It's exciting. It's fulfilling. You're where you want to be. All the adjectives you can use to describe something good in your life happening, that starts to happen within OnPassive when you get there. Now, I know that 99% of the people in OnPassive, you're not there. You haven't lost a sense of time. And when Mr. Mufareh came out and said, listen, we've got another 10-day extension, all of a sudden the minutes feel like hours and the hours feel like days and the days feel like weeks and months. I understand that. I'm not there. I'm in a really, really good place, but it's because I've been on the journey for 5 years. I know Mr. Mufareh. I know what he's doing. I know what's happening with OnPassive. And when you start to think about OnPassive, you start to think about the 10 days. What does it mean? What are we doing? Okay, let's talk about the 10-day extension. Okay. The 10-day extension, I've heard people talk about the 10-day extension and that things are going to happen in 2 or 3 days. That might happen. OnPassive, Ash Mufareh might come out and say, listen, we're going to start paying on the 3rd of May, next month. Everything's going to start. It may take the full days, the full 10 days. It might take another 10-day extension. It might take another 5 months. That would be September to September, a full year to get everything rolling within OnPassive. And I know when I said that, people started to freak out. 5 more months? Are you kidding me? I don't believe it's going to take that amount of time. I believe we're very, very close. But you have to understand, and Collins talked about this earlier as we were talking together. OnPassive has to do what they're going to do before they do anything else. They have, and Andy said that they have to be able to pay us, and Ash Mufareh said this, before they release OCONNECT to the world. Okay. So as we think about OnPassive, could be 3 days, could be another 10-day extension, could be 5 months. And again, I don't think it's going to take that long, guys. We're very, very close, and I'll tell you why. And I'll start to give you an understanding and a reason why maybe you should lose that sense of time. And I'll start to elaborate on that a little bit, and you're actually going to love it. But as we think about OnPassive, we think about this 10-day extension, and you think, well, you know, OnPassive, they're just in no rush. They don't care when they do this. They don't care if it's another 10 days, another 20 days, another month, another 2. They just don't care, do they? Wrong. OnPassive is a multi-billion-dollar business. And I know you know that. OnPassive is a behemoth. Well, in order to stay in business, what do you have to do? And believe me, Mr. Mufareh knows this. All the individuals in the corporate side of OnPassive, they know this. You have to cash flow. Okay? How do you cash flow? Well, you've got to get to that point where you're offering products to the world, not just to the affiliates within OnPassive, not just the early bird affiliates within OnPassive. You have to offer OCONNECT to the world. And if you don't do that, you might not have a business very long. Believe me, Mr. Mufareh, he knows this. So when you think about this additional 10 days, okay, it's 10 days. It's not a big deal. What's Mr. Mufareh thinking? What's Dr. Susan thinking? What's Dr. Tarek's thinking? What's Muhammad Kamal thinking? What are all these individuals thinking? We got to get product out there, and we got to give it to the world. Okay, that's what they're thinking. Now, when we listened to Mr. Mufareh on the African webinar, he talked about 50 steps, and they got 3 to go. Okay, 3 to go. What are those 3 steps? I personally, this is my personal opinion, I don't think they have the money yet. Okay. Now, I think that's coming very, very quickly. Don't panic when I say that. That's what the 3 steps are about. They have 3 more steps to do before they get the additional $38 million that the processors have been holding for the last 6 months. But it's more than that. It's not 38 million. It's probably closer to 80 million. Because in that pot, it's not only the money that Mr. Mufareh is going to pay out as in commissions and bonuses, it's also the money that OnPassive gets. So I think the processors have been holding all of it. So it's a really, really big chunk of change. And anytime you get the attorneys involved, there's nothing fair about it. There's nothing right about it. There's no justice involved. It's just how good are your attorneys? And I can tell you the attorneys that Mr. Mufareh is using, they're the best of the best. They will get this done. And the individuals that are holding the money, we know from past experience, they got 60 days, they got 6 months, they can hold that money, then they have to give it back. What's going on right now could be a little back and forth, just fine tuning, dotting the I's, crossing the T's. But I think OnPassive is very, very close to getting that whole chunk of change, which is a big chunk of money. And when that happens, then everything is going to start to flow. Okay. That's where all of us want to be. We want to see everything start to flow. And we want to see those wallets in our back office, that we want to see them start to fill up. Now, this is where it gets really, really exciting when we start talking about the money, because the 60, 70, 80 million dollars that are coming into OnPassive right now, it's just a pittance of what's going to be coming in. And when you start to understand that, when you start to understand the structure, when you start to understand Mr. Mufareh, when you start to understand what he's put together and how he wants to take care of each and every one of us, all of a sudden you start to think about what's going to be happening very, very quickly for a long period of time. And when you have the realization that all of this, it really is a done deal. And I know when I say that, and I get a kick out of it. I have people coming at me all the time, and they say, you know, Mike, you don't know squat. You're a podunk from rural Colorado, and you don't know anything. I'm telling you, I know. And it's not because I'm a genius. It's not because I have any great insight. It's just because I observe. And if you observe Mr. Mufareh, if you observe what's going on OnPassive, if you observe what they've done around the world, and then you start to look at the market, all of a sudden, it's no longer something that is a wish and a dream. It is a reality. So I have a tendency to get in these people's face and tell them, no, you're wrong. I know what's coming. I know what's happening. And I know what's going to happen to those individuals that are in OnPassive as affiliates. And so as I talk about the numbers, people will come in and, well, that's all speculation. Well, a little bit of it is speculation. And there are things I can't talk about, because if I did, I'd get in trouble. I'd get in trouble with everybody. I'd get in trouble with the attorneys. I'd get in trouble. There are so many people I get in trouble, but I know what's coming with OnPassive. So let's talk about the numbers very, very quickly. And this should just put you over the top, guys. It really should. When we look at the market of OnPassive, and we talk about 5 products, and I'm not going to go over the products that are initially going to be coming out, but there will be 5 of them. And the ones that I believe are going to be coming out, what is our market? What is our market cap, our annual market cap that we could capture as OnPassivians, as corporate side of OnPassive? How much of that market could we capture, and how big is it? Annually, it's over $1 trillion. Okay? $1 trillion annually. Okay? How much of that market could we capture? Let's just stay very, very conservative. Let's say in the first year, we take 25% of that market. Okay? That's $250 billion coming into OnPassive. Don't stop here. It gets better. It gets better. Half of that we know is going to go into the commission structure. And however OnPassive, however Ash Mufareh decides to distribute that, it is going to benefit each and every one of us. We know with OCONNECT, it's 25% commission for a personal sale. But there's so much more than that that will be divvied out to those individuals in OnPassive that are affiliates. Okay? That is massive. $250 billion a year. I don't know how many companies bring in that kind of revenue annually, but it's not a lot. Okay? That's annual. 5 products, $1 trillion, $250 billion coming into OnPassive, $125 billion coming to us. Okay? Now let's take it to the next level, because that's not how it's going to work. What if that annual number of $1 trillion all of a sudden is a monthly figure. Now let's look at the products of OnPassive. The products of OnPassive, we pay monthly, every 3 months, 6 months, or annually. But let's go a month. So what's happening monthly with OnPassive with 5 products? And here's where we get into a little bit of speculation, because I don't know what the other 4 products are going to be sold for. So I can't put a number on them. But if they're just comparable to OCONNECT, all of a sudden we're looking at a monthly figure for OnPassive. And that monthly figure, when you do the numbers, when you extrapolate that, is more than taking 25% of $1 trillion over a year. And if you think about the number, and you think about the number of people in the world, which are 8 billion, and we take, say, 50 million of that, that's all. Just, we're going to stay very, very conservative. We take 50 million individuals, and these individuals, they can be individuals, it can be small business, it can be medium-sized business, it can be large businesses, it can be governments. These individuals are going to come in and they're going to spend monthly at least $1,000. Why do I say that? Again, this isn't speculation. This is stuff I know. These individuals are already paying $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month for the products of OnPassive, whether it's OCONNECT, whether it's Academy, whether it's OStaff. You name the product, you add those 5 together, they're spending way more than $1,000 a month on all of these products. Now understand, this is what's coming at us right now, guys. This is what's coming right now. And when you think about that, $1,000, each individual, 50 million people paying $1,000 over a year, that's over $600 billion coming into OnPassive. No, it gets better than that. That's 5 products, guys. 5 products. How many products is OnPassive going to have? They're going to have over 50 products. And this doesn't include the hard products. When you start adding all of these numbers together and you start understanding what Mr. Mufareh has done, not will do, has done, it doesn't matter if it's 10 days. It doesn't matter if it's another extension, 20 days. For me, and I know nobody likes this, I don't care if it's another 5 months, because I know at the end of that 5 months, all hell's going to break loose. And OnPassive is going to take over the internet. And everything that OnPassive does is going to benefit you and I as affiliates within OnPassive. All of a sudden, you start worrying about time. And you start worrying about what you're going to be doing. You start thinking about how you're going to engage, how you're going to engage in the battle, how you're going to engage in the journey, how you are going to win. And then the bottom line is how you're going to change lives. And I don't care how many lives it is. Maybe you're married, your husband or your wife, you're going to change their life. Maybe you have kids, you're going to change their lives. Maybe you're an influencer in the community. You're going to change maybe 10s, 20, 30, 100 people's lives. If you can change one life with the journey of OnPassive, you've done something that most people never do, guys, ever, ever, ever. And that's why when I start to think about and I start to preach losing your sense of time, get away from it. It just doesn't matter to me. I've already changed lives, and I know that even though they don't know it yet. I've already changed lives, and I've done more than I've ever done in the duration of my career. Is OnPassive the only thing I think about? No, but it's one of those journeys that it's just so cool to get into it, lose a sense of time, and just enjoy what's happening. There are other things that I think about, and time, it's just not relevant. So losing your sense of time, when you can get there, when you can understand what OnPassive can do, when you can understand everything that I've talked about, you're going to understand that you're in a really, really unique place today. And it's really, really hard to find, guys. It's really, really hard to find. And Mr. Mufareh, with his vision, with what he's done over the last 5 years, and what's coming quickly. I didn't say 5 years. I didn't say 5 months that time. It's coming quickly. And it is. That's where we're at. Get rid of that sense of time. Live in the moment. You're a winner. And that's the bottom line. You are a winner. And that's a really, really good place to be. Guys, go ahead and take it from there. Hopefully I threw some stuff out that you can talk about.